Hi, Darla.
Hi, Dr. Steele. How are you?
I am well. I am well. I am dry here in Oklahoma.
Well,
Uh,
yes.
it's so rainy here. You're in Arkansas, correct?
We are, yeah. And it's been dry and windy here, so we could use a little
Yeah.
rain.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the rain. You know, whenever rain comes, I do the happy dance because that's what you want. You know, I have to use water source.
Yes,
So I
absolutely.
thank you so much, Mr. Embry. After all these years, here we are, full circle again. So that means something to me. You hear me? I don't know about you, but it means something to me when
Yeah,
we're able to reconnect after so many years. I thank you.
yes, yes, absolutely. It's very important. Life always moves in a circle.
It definitely does. I mean, and when it's for the good of many, that's when you know. And to
Hmm.
me, it's always confirmation like, that's the partnership we need to really
Hmm.
work with. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you, it seems like a friend, if you will, but our partner, my business partner, soon to be, very close knit here with the international piece that we're working on together and coming back, Women in Ag has now grown to 57 chapters. I got the count last week. Yes, I know, right?
Wonderful.
It's we are proudly wearing the title as the largest minority organization in the world. I know,
Fantastic.
right? It's huge. Um, we do. I've been blessed where I'm able now to hire in law student interns to work with me. So, and I get the upperclassmen, and the reason why I'm a very busy person, as most people, but that actually helps with my, training curve. I'm helping them to enter into a whole nother industry, a sustainable industry, if you will, in agriculture. Like I told you, you could be an attorney, you could be whatever you want to be in agriculture, that you'll always have a job in America.
That's right.
That's right. So they're excited, and I'm literally taking a young lady with me, a law school student, that we have been VIP'd in Washington, D.C. next week for a huge Women's Farm Bureau conference. Where,
Wow.
yeah, it's huge, and it was VIP, if you will. I'm one of those people. I'm kind of girl, but I did feel kind of special when they had that on there.
Absolutely.
So, we will definitely be advocating and letting them know about our wonderful partnership with you as well. So, without further ado, it's all yours. Introduce yourself, what organization you are with, how we're going to do this thing.
Okay. All right. Well, my name is Darla Embry, and I am a recruiter program associate with Winrock International. And Winrock is a private nonprofit organization that works with the poor and the disadvantaged to improve their livelihoods and to help them have a better life. And we have been Winrock International for about 30 years. We were started by the late Governor Rockefeller, and it continues on today. So, and this is his legacy. And one of the oldest projects within Winrock International is the Farmer to Farmer project, and that's what I recruit and assist with. It is funded through USAID and the Farm Bill. And so every 4 years, we have to rebid, and we typically bid on sections of the world. They divide up like Africa and South America and Central America, Central Asia. And so we bid on those regions and give them a proposal that we will go in and help farmers irrigate, improve their livelihoods. We've worked with women's groups. We set up co-ops for them and help them run that farming as a business. Because it doesn't matter if you grow it if you can't sell it.
That's right.
And so when you're in agriculture, you'll never go hungry. So we support them in aquaculture, cattle, all kinds of stuff. We have such a wide variety. And I brought with me today a PowerPoint that will have just a little bit of facts. And so I'll kind of run through those a little bit. And then there is a video that will play at the end, and we developed it a few years ago, and it's still very applicable today. So do y'all run the PowerPoint, or how does that work?
Well, hold on before you do. Hold on.
Okay.
I want to kind of make sure before we get into it, the actual PowerPoint and the video, that our audience understand Winrock is this international partnership that's connecting national women in agriculture, and all of our chapter leaders that they'll be coming in as we speak. Some of them are on like our social media platforms, and then some are coming through YouTube. As I promoted today, this is an opportunity if they ever had a desire to serve overseas.
Yes.
That this would be a great opportunity for them, as well as any farmers here that have an expertise. If I understand you correctly, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes. Nope. You're right.
Okay. I want to make sure they understand, because that's why I promoted it personally as an opportunity to go overseas and help however you can. Also, I wanted to talk, Darla. I spoke with USAID, myself and my business partner over in Africa, Emmanuel Ope, Update Emmanuel is his name. I always mess that up. I know I'm gonna mess it up. I'm so sorry. Update Emmanuel. He's a wonderful business partner of mine, and you spoke with him as well.
Yep.
He and I are working diligently to try to get something off the ground as soon as possible. I know you guys have worked with me. I've already put in my application because I'm ready to go back. I'm
Yes.
so excited about it. And
Yes.
hopefully, like some of my staff here too will be going with me, overseas because they're
Wonderful.
awesome. But we spoke with USAID, and they strongly suggest that we come in as a sub-award or some way, but we have some other conversation, and that's a sidebar with you and I off script. But I did want to mention that before.
Yes.
I forget because I have assistants here, and I promise you, I'm so busy here lately. I can't even.
I know. I understand.
Promise you, I'm like typing myself notes constantly. Like maybe I jump out the shower, what comes to my head, I'll put it on in my notes. But neither here nor there. They are very, very interested in our organization, especially spearheading a lot of those women initiatives, minority initiatives.
Yep.
And they definitely make sure you work with Winrock. We want you. So, hopefully one day we will become a Winrock, a champion, as they call it, one of those champion groups.
Yes.
So, I appreciate you. Like I said, I know this is meant to be, because we literally just got back from Africa.
That's right. It was definitely meant to be.
Divine intervention,
Yes.
I was like, are you serious when I saw your name? And, I was like, I know them. And I was like, okay, this is meant to be. So I'm going to get off that. I just wanted to make sure, if you want to talk a little bit about that so that people understand the opportunities before we get into that.
Okay. And through these programs that we have with Farmer to Farmer, what we do is we look for volunteer experts. We use a scope of work that we develop in the field with our field staff. And we currently work in Ghana, Guinea, Nigeria, Mali, and Senegal, and a little bit in Liberia.
Okay.
Those are flexible countries. But anyway, they work with host organizations, develop a scope of work in what they need a volunteer to come help them do. And it might be growing organic vegetables, or it might be building a co-op, or it might be marketing. It's all kind, because farming is an old range of things. And so we take that scope of work and we publish it on our website and at winrock.org, and volunteers, or we in our database can go and search for them, or people online can view those, and we match a volunteer expert with a host organization. And in that scope of work, it details everything they would like the volunteer specialist or expert to do. And Winrock pays all of the expenses, all the flights, the visa, lodging, provides a daily per diem, because we don't pay a salary being a volunteer organization, but we cover all of your expenses. We handle all the logistics. You are met when you get off the plane, and you will be escorted by a Winrock personnel for the entire 2 weeks. We take safety is our number one concern, and it just wouldn't do us any good if somebody got lost or got hurt, and heaven forbid. So we do all that. At the end of the assignment, the volunteer typically writes a thank you letter to the host, and then has an end of the assignment deliverables, things that they saw the host could improve on, and things that the host was doing well, and what the next steps will be to take them to that next level. And so that's what Winrock, we're that liaison between the host and the expert. And we cover all of the expenses, and handle all of the travel logistics.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's almost too good to be true, to be honest with you.
Well, and that's the reason I wanted to come from you. Because, people are always a little skeptical. Okay, Kenny, where's the catch? And I'm like, there's no catch. You just understand, whenever we're doing this, we are working with government funds to provide opportunity to you as well as to others. And that's where a lot of people, especially in underserved communities, do not understand the concept of a grant. Understanding that even if you're named on a grant, It's
Right.
easily to amend a grant, but it's hard to get the work done, if that's
Right.
correct.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to really groom and teach our chapter leaders, the responsibility of a grant and what the action, because like I said, you can always change the name of whoever do the action. And that's all I'm into. It's action after action. And as far as on your website, you have, and Monte will put up here in a minute, she'll type in, winrock.org, so people can go there. And is there a specific tab they need to go under, or are you going to show us that on your slide?
Well, there'll be quite a bit of information on the slide, but let me type it into the chat
Okay.
real quick, our web address. And that's winrock.org. Let me go back, put the www. And that is our web address. And that takes you to the main page. Winrock does a lot of things. We work in a human trafficking, we work in deforestation, and we have all kinds of programs. So it takes you to the main page, right? And
Yes.
you'll scroll down, and the volunteer information is at the bottom, but you'll scroll down and see all of our projects. And you get down to the bottom, there's a button that says volunteer, and you click on that, and it takes you to the volunteer technical assistance page. And that's what all of this is. And that's where you can enter your application and attach a resume. You can view the open assignments and read success stories from those that have gone over and come back. So winrock.org gets it all started.
All right, my assistant is working her magic, but she does, and we're getting it also in the chat. They're forming like the actual link, so they can just click in it and go. And I want to make sure all the viewers understand, especially the ones that are connected as a member or a chapter leader. Mm-hmm. We want to make sure you go and you get actually, the help you need, filling out the paperwork, making sure your resume aligns, but also Ms. Darla, she's going to connect back to me to verify that you're with us.
Right.
The reason, Ms. Darla, I'm very, very strategic, and if you will, we're very careful who we let get in these programs and take use our name, if you will.
Exactly.
And, exactly. A lot of people, they love to come and get the good, but again, we want to have proper screening and that they are diligent, consistent people and have a heart, if you will.
Right.
To be a part of this whole initiative.
Right.
And right now, we literally have some people from Africa that's actually logging on. I'm so excited. We have 11 chapters over there, and I meet with our women every month. So they are just typically, and they're on farms, different places. So this is great.
The cultural exchange between us, the U.S., and our host organizations and host families is you can't even measure that. You take people from the U.S. that maybe haven't traveled internationally, and what they know of the world is what you see on the news.
Right.
And that's not the case. I mean, you go out there and there's people just like us, and it's a culture to culture exchange. And those relationships, I've known people that have lasted a lifetime of friendships and would even travel to go see each other. So they get to see us. We're not all Paris Hilton. And we get to see them, and their lives and what they have to deal with. And everybody deserves, a good life, and they're trying. And so it's that exchange that I guarantee you'll come back saying, I wish I could give more of myself. And I want to go back.
That's exactly it. That is exactly it. That's, again, I thank you for your leadership because people like you connect people and help people. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart because, like I said, you and I have been on this emailing and connecting for many, many years, the organization. Yes. Can I ask a question also? Do you all partner or do anything with USDA as far as? Okay. So you are familiar with FSA, Farm Service Agency, as well as Nrcs. Okay, because I always like to bring up, I wouldn't be here or this show would not even exist as an outreach piece if we were not receive resources to help farmers in America. That agreement is, the agreements we are on are for farmers in America only. However, I have been blessed with my own resources from those agreements to go abroad, to Nigeria. And that, like you said, it forever changed me, and I came back, but I want to help. I know what my retirement plans are now. That's part of it, is, to do overseas work. Right. So those of you who do not know about FSA, Farm Service Agency, I always call that Stop One. In order for you to be literally and legitimately involved in United States agriculture, if you will, or to receive resources, that's from grants, which grants for most USDA programs go to organizations, not to individual farmers. So that's why it's so important that you connect with a nonprofit like National Women in Agriculture, or Winrock, if you will. Those are the organizations that receive the resources to do outreach work to make sure people are connected to the programs. But first and foremost, you have to get your farm registered free. And that's FREE. It receives its own ID number, which I call it the Farm Social Security number. Like your farm is this little entity that gets its own little Social Security number or registration. They call it Farm ID. Once you get that ID, that actually helps you to participate in other USDA programs for resources. For example, once you get the Farm ID, you could go for farm loans. There's FSA, Farm Service Agency, again, that's Stop One. You can get a loan to own your property or operating loan. They also have a youth loan. They have insurance, crop insurance. It's just again a lot of different resources. Just right there in that one Stop One and FSA Farm Service Agency. Step two, they're going to see just like I will, which is our number one partner, and the only reason, like again, National Women in Agriculture has grown and been able to connect thousands of people to these programs is because of NRCS. That's Natural Resource Conservation Services. Natural Resource Conservation Services is where they can provide the individual farmer with assets, with resources for their farm. That could be from irrigation help, fencing, pollinators. They too have a lot, when I say a lot of different programs that can help you a farmer. Even where they will pay you money to preserve certain parts of your land.
That's right. That's right.
You want to speak a little bit about that piece of
I know that on a personal level because my husband and I farm. He is a fifth generation farmer, and it's called, when you're talking about getting registered and getting your social, your ID, that, your farm number, it's very important. And once you get in there, NRCS has programs. They helped us with our drainage on the farm, and protected a wildlife area to the back that was being eroded away. But you got to go to them. They're not going to approach you. My sister got one, and she's doing hoop houses.
That's what we have here.
I love those. Those are wonderful. So that resource is paid through our tax dollars, and it's out there. All you got to do is go get it, and every county's got one.
That's right.
Every county's
got one. If
they
don't have one in your county, they will direct you another county. I always direct people call here. We have a hotline, a 202 Washington, D.C. hotline that people are able to call and connect directly to my desk 24 hours a day.
Absolutely.
So and that comes right to my email. So when that happens, we're able to get on the phone, connect them to, if not a county, to their state office. Every state has a state FSA, that's Farm Service Agency, and also a NRCS, Natural Resource Conservation Services. They have these programs. There are some set-aside money for minorities. You say, tell me, what do you mean? It's something called socially disadvantaged farmers. That is the actual sentence of the phrase they use for minorities. Sure. That's the best way I can capture it, without going into further detail. But for minorities, there are some set-aside resources, as well as there are direct technical assistance they can receive. But also in that minority group are veterans.
Mm-hmm.
Veterans are considered socially disadvantaged, parental and post-parental minorities in
Mm-hmm.
the agriculture or USDA agencies. Also, I want to talk about America's first veteran women in ag conference ever in America.
Yay.
The first ever
Amazing.
United States Veteran Women Ag Conference is going to be right here at the Oklahoma City headquarters office, July 6th and 7th. It's coming up faster than I can imagine or even imagine.
It's going to be hot. It's going to be hot and sunny there.
It's going to be hot and sunny, but we're going to have cool shade
Yes, absolutely.
as well as picnic blankets and
Yeah.
our
Don't worry about the
basketball.
weather. It'll be great.
It'll be great. I hope you all will come too, because that'll be
Yes.
another great time to connect with farmers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that is just around the corner.
It is. It's coming up really quickly. And we're also going to have it virtual, but we did want to offer the in person just because we can't spread out on the property and they get to see a little urban ag and ag in the hood, if you will. So they can see exactly what national headquarters look like and what we do at the 6th and 7th.
Do they need to register? Do we need to go on?
Please register. Yes.
That's what I thought. Okay.
And our website, hopefully they will have it out on the first page of our website. It'll be Veterans whenever they literally just click in, register. It's all free. Everything's free. The registration as well as the actual event. So the America's first Veteran Women in Ag Conference is happening.
That's great.
And they're excited. I mean, we have this awesome assistance with Veteran Administration and Veteran Affairs across the country that are helping us. So it's exciting. But I'm going to rest there because this is your show. But we want to get all that how we say, not paperwork, but all the housekeeping, if you will.
Housekeeping.
To make sure that I don't leave out anything, to make sure that people know there are resources out there for you.
Yes, absolutely. That's critical.
We're working with people that have been in the industry for years. They always tell you 30 plus years. She's been in the industry. I've been in there 15 years, but I am a farmer, so I've been a farmer all my life. Yep. So you have people that will help you with the paperwork. From Farm Service Agency, Nrcs paperwork, Winrock paperwork, NWIA paperwork. We are here to help. It's all yours, Ms. Darla. Thank you.
All righty. Well, I to be honest with you, I think we ought to just sit and visit for the next 30 minutes. But we absolutely can. Well, I mean, I love ag people and I love going to ag conferences because they are just, I mean, they're the salt of the earth, and I love it. And
they are.
To be able to get to do this is just been a blessing to me and continues to be that way after 22 years. So, okay.
That's awesome.
All righty. I think we got our PowerPoint up, and that's our intro there. It's Winrock International. And if you want to tab over to the next slide, it's just a little bit of information that Winrock has completed over 6,000 or has completed more than 6,600 volunteer trips in 59 countries since 1991. We've never lost a volunteer. I mean, everybody worries about safety. We've never lost a volunteer. So we take good care of you. Some of the countries I mentioned earlier that we're working in West Africa is Ghana, Guinea, Mali, Nigeria, and Senegal. And those are some of our focus areas: ag education and training, post-harvest strengthening. I've got an assignment right now, I think in Ghana, where they're looking for someone to help them make hot dogs. I was like, I bet you we can find us an expert who does that. I bet we can.
Awesome.
And rural livelihood development is really an all-encompassing area where we help largely women. And they're forming groups, and they have either handcrafts or organic food anyway. And so it's that rural livelihood development, helping them set up loans, credit, co-ops, the whole bit. All righty, next slide. All right, thank you. USAID, as I mentioned earlier, is our funder, and we started it about 36 years ago. It used to just, I mean, the term farmer to farmer is exactly what it used to be. We would match a farmer and we would match a farmer. And of course, over the years, that's grown. It's still called farmer to farmer, and we natural resource management is included in that. There's all kinds of things. We farming as a business, and people look at farmer to farmer and go, "I'm not a farmer." You don't have to be.
That's
It
right.
helps to have an ag background, but you don't have to be. This is for so many, I mean, beekeepers, aquaculture, all of it. So it's all out there, and that's where we rely on our U.S. volunteers and their expertise. Some don't like to be called expert. I like to call them specialists. So,
Okay. That's
yeah, there
whatever
you go.
works.
All righty. Next slide.
This is awesome.
The assignments are typically 2 weeks, and 2 weeks is leaving your home on usually a Friday or Saturday, flying because it takes about a day and a half to get over there.
Uh-huh.
uh, and it's a long trip too. You don't
It
you don't
sure
realize
is.
it until you get
Alright.
going. It's a long trip. So, and then we will get you over there, and then you'll meet with the staff, and then meet with the host, and you'll work with them for 2 weeks over a weekend, and then the following weekend, usually on a Friday, you'll fly home. So it's weekend to weekend. It's about 17 days total, depending on flight times, and because we're in West Africa. I just did a guy's ticket today, and I mean, like, he lived in Atlanta, so he's going to fly directly to Paris and then down to Dakar, Senegal, or Abuja, Nigeria. Now, I live in Arkansas, so I'm going to go from Arkansas to Atlanta, or maybe Houston and then Chicago. I make
Exactly.
a few jumps, smaller
Yes.
town. But
Same.
we handle all of that, and the trips are usually 2 to 3 weeks. Some will last longer, but I would say 90% or 2 weeks. And all of that is decided. It's not like they're going to surprise you with anything. It's all written down in that scope of work. It's your contract, basically, right? Some we have that will go and spend, we use a lot of internships, like graduate students out of college that are going into ag fields or international development. We might use them for the summer. We use a lot of the Clinton capstone graduates out of the Clinton
Okay.
School there in Little Rock. And we'll keep them usually about 6 to 9 months overseas, and then use them in our office as well, so they get that whole picture. And we
Okay.
do love Peace Corps. If you have any Peace Corps background, because I mean, you know what it's like to work with the poor and the disadvantaged and the underserved communities of the world. So we do love Peace Corps. So, okay, next slide. These are, as I was mentioning, farmer to farmer. These are some of the topics that we have now. Um, um, the technical topics, production and processing, marketing, because you can't, and I mentioned this earlier, you can't grow a crop. If you can, but you got to be able to sell it. You're going to use part and sell part, that type of
Right.
thing. So there's all of that encompasses farming as a business. FAAB. It's a big focus area for us. Food safety, water, irrigation, renewable energy. One of the new ones that we have added are the organizational support. Those were going to be like business and strategic development, branding and marketing. I had a branding and marketing expert here in Arkansas from Ralston Rice, and Mrs. Ralston, worked with a group in Ghana. They had rice and wanted, how do we market it? Well, right now we're selling it in baskets walking down the street. So she was able to show them how to get in with a brick and mortar store and package it, get a label, and marketing it. It's just, and it just took 2 or 3 weeks, a few hours today and a few hours, and then they're on their way. So, communication skills, we have some that are conflict mitigation, like if you are out somewhere and you're arguing over water rights, which happens a lot in sub-Saharan Africa, we will put experts in there that teach them how to conflict mitigate. Entrepreneurship is a big one as well. We have open scope of work right now in Ghana for some entrepreneur expertise. Okay,
That is
next.
my expertise.
I thought it is.
That definitely
If
is.
it's not, it should be, because you got it. Let me tell you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All righty. And the next slide. Volunteers. Volunteers, as you know, we all have full-time jobs, and so we do have assignments now due to COVID that are called remote and paired, right? So you actually, the assignment may take 2 or 3 weeks, but you're going to work on it a couple of hours in the afternoon or evening when you have time off, and then get it back to the host, and it's a back and forth, but you're still there every day. You don't have to find someone to care for your farm or take care of the family. It's a remote paired assignment, and it's capacity building for the person in the national volunteer in all of these countries as well. And once again, it's a cultural exchange. It's not as good as face to face, but it has worked out really well. So if you think I don't have the vacation, I can't take 2 weeks off, you don't have to, because now we have that as an option. And so that's something good that came out of COVID.
I'm loving remote.
There's nothing like being a part of someone's life and like seeing their home and meeting them on a personal level. So, but we have some volunteers that can't physically travel now anymore.
Right.
So that helps out as well. We ask you to donate your time and expertise. We'll cover all the expenses, and we always will, as I mentioned, every single time, take very good care of you. We've got all kinds of, the first thing we do when we go to a country is set up a security and risk assessment. So we know what we're doing, and we have people, our country directors live right there. Their staff lives right there, all fully vetted. So it's just, you couldn't be safer. You just couldn't. I just never worry about it. It's interesting, in Nigeria, the gentleman that comes and gets you from the plane is Blessing. His name is Blessing, and he is a blessing. It's Nigeria was settled by the British, so they're largely English speaking and Christian. So, people say, aren't you worried? Well, I'm not worried anywhere. I mean, I'm really not. I'm fine. I got a Winrock staffer right here with a car. So, all righty. Next slide. This is just real quickly some of the processes we go through. I mentioned also earlier that the scope of work is developed out in the field, and then I get it and I start the recruitment. I post it on the website. I post some of them on LinkedIn as well. And once the volunteer, the person has submitted, let me know they want me to submit their resume. The field staff will vet it as well, and then it goes to the host. The host has the final approval. And so they'll come back, they may have more questions or approve, and then we move on to the mobilization. And that's where it's like visas and airline tickets if you're traveling. And if not, it's basically an appointment letter. We set up Zoom calls, so there's that face-to-face meeting and you can recognize everybody. The assignment then is implemented, and then after the assignment, there's like a one-page post-assignment report into the assignment report. So, and that report is one of our deliverables back to USAID. Okay, next slide. Let's see, the volunteer process. Yes, there's little things like everybody going over would need a scope of work. I mean, if we're paying for it, then that volunteer has their own scope of work and their own set of deliverables. that thing. It's all approved, and that's just a lot of blah blah. But this is, I mean, this is all kind of what goes on in the background, so but you have to be in the database. We run security checks and references on everybody, as we do out in the field as well. So all right.
Can I just make a comment about,
Yes.
she
Yes.
said SOW, for some of the viewers, you and I know what that is, because that's,
The scope of work.
agriculture proposal talk.
Right.
Statement of work, the SOW. You said,
Yes.
well, how do I even do a statement of work? Again, I'm so used to working with socially
Right.
disadvantaged people that we will break it down for you. Coming to our organization, we will help you with your statement of work deliverables according to your expertise or your
Right.
specializing field of agriculture, if you're interested in going abroad to do some of this work.
Right. When you go and thank you, that's exactly right. And you're right. I don't think about an acronym that the whole world doesn't know, because I use it all the time. When you go to our website to look at open assignments, it will have just a small summary, deliverables, requirements, and then the recruiter's name is down there at the bottom. And what I do when I get someone's interest, then I will email them back the full scope of work and then set up a time to visit with them about it. So scope of work will be about 8 or 9 pages. It'll give you background on the host. It's pretty detailed in what the host needs from us and that type of thing. So, but yeah, scope of work, SOW. So, okay, next one. All righty. Let's see. Yep. These are all, and once again, this is just kind of behind the scenes. These are things that I do when I mobilize. There's a lot of details. I call them spinning plates, and it's all timed out where it all comes together at once. And I like to have everybody completely mobilized at least a week or a week and a half before they depart. That was the one thing when I came into this organization 20 years ago. I mean, they would have people mobilized the day before. Well, that would make me a nervous wreck. I couldn't handle that. So we get the appointment letter back with all your personal information. We do have a health certificate. We don't need personal health information. We just need a physician to say it's okay for you to travel.
Right.
And then we do a LexisNexis background check. And when all that's completed is when we start actually buying tickets. Tickets for Nigeria was $5,500. It has doubled.
Yeah.
I was shocked. 55, and the visa was 900, where it used to be 250.
Wow.
So, and I mean, so that's why we've got to get all this background checked out before we start spending money. So that's why it's in this order. And then as about a week and a half before you leave, I'm going to wire you the advance money for either the per diem. The staff in country takes care of all the hotel and the driver, so you don't have to worry about an interpreter. All you have is, and we usually can, per diem will run you about, we'll give you about $700 or $800, and that's enough to buy, a lunch and things. I usually save it for souvenirs. My grandkids love them, and those types of things. So that's just kind of some of the process we go through, and then you depart on your trip. The wiring of the funds for per diem will be the last step.
Okay.
Okay, next slide. And this is the video. I hope this video plays. I love it. Do I click on the link?
Isn't this amazing how technology has us just moving and grooving and getting information out?
Well, exactly. I still can't
it.
even answer a text half the time. Okay, here we go.
Yes, this is awesome.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna do something. I'll put this back up.
Sure. It was that awesome. You guys, you know what? Stuff like that makes me cry because I literally was there. And the scenery was so familiar.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I communicate daily with Mr. Emmanuel from Nigeria, trying to make sure we're getting over there and getting something done immediately. But even the neater part that we're bringing, the piece we're bringing with women and children, we're bringing the children part. We're going to be training them to become the next generation of farmers with entrepreneurship skills. Because
Right.
farmers are getting older, including this old girl here. I don't move as fast as I used to.
I don't bounce like I used to.
I don't either. I mean, my sense is a little shorter. When I started talking about retirement, I'm like, yeah, I should get close to that age. But I don't look forward to retiring no time soon. It's too much work to be done. It's too much life to be lived.
We're having too much fun.
Too much fun.
Yes.
So it's all yours again. Go ahead and tell us, recap us. And
Yeah, here's the last slide on the volunteer process where the airport pickup and drop off. Of course, we'll take care of all that, and wear a hat so they can identify you. Of course, they've seen you and that kind of thing. In country lodging, we take care of all the transportation, the interpretation, all the materials. We cover all of your safety and security. We balance your work and rest time, and then the volunteer provides their deliverables. So that's it in a nutshell. It's the best 2 weeks of your life.
it's FREE if you meet the criteria of being a specialist / expert.
Yes.
And how we certify that. I think Darla would take my word for some of the people that are connected in our organization, specifically our chapter leaders, of course, some members as well. But we want you to come through and sign up or connect with us some way, because what we're working on is this unique partnership of culturally related. If that makes
Exactly.
sense.
Exactly.
There's something, I don't want to get into a heavy race type conversation, but to make sure you understand, well, why is your partnership any different than any other with Wonderful Winrock, is because they recognize the uniqueness that National Women in Agriculture brings to the table as far as capacity and people. Am I correct?
That's exactly right. We actually have been given an initiative from USAID to work with them and develop a process for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so we've been working on it now the past few months, and and of course there's always that report for USAID, and it's reaching out to the underserved population, and give them the opportunity. White guys aren't the only ones that can do this. I'm telling you. So I had to make sure my husband wasn't walking in the room.
Oh, I know. And I get stuck in my head sometimes. You don't make
But the truth is the truth, and so and we're committed to that. That's where we really shine. Is that, capacity building, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's not one. It's got to be all of it. So.
That it is so ironic, and again, divine intervention. I'm so excited about going to DC next week, because I am going to be with predominantly Caucasian women that has called me to the table to be with them, because we are like-minded and we're females first. That's our gender, and they're asking me to come in as far as the diversity piece. With our actual respective deputy, Jewel, I can never say her last name. I know her as Dr. Jewel because she spoke at our conference many, many years ago. But the reason they want that diversity and inclusion. And that was the name of our bill. Literally, I named our bill that we've been working on almost 10 years, and God forbid, or God please, so that no one try to mess that up, that we're working to meet with President Biden on our equality and inclusion bill that I named many years ago. So it's not like, I'm jumping on what he's doing. We've been working, going back and forth, trying to talk to Congress, and now we have a president who really believes in equality and inclusion, and as Winrock is giving us the opportunity to bring that to the forefront even more. And again, I thank you for that opportunity.
Well, we'd love to help in any way we can, and if anyone's interested, now I put some in the chat over here, but I don't know that I think it's a private chat, so I don't know if it got out anywhere. But the link to the YouTube video and my contact information, that kind of thing. So if anyone wants to follow up with me, I'll be happy to visit with them.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Darla. We are at the end of the show. Do you have some final nuggets you want to give to people? You've done such an excellent job of providing a slideshow and a video. That was the first time ever, and we were shaky, but I knew my assistant, Tay, here, would bring us on through. So I was like, do not move, because if this thing goes, if it goes off, I don't know what to touch. So.
I'm not technical. You notice I'm still wearing headphones because when I unplug it over here, I can't hear anything, and I don't know why. But we're going to get through this together. And I always enjoy being around you. You are a blessing to me and to this organization, Ms. Steele, and I really appreciate it.
Well, I thank you. You all have heard it, the ones who have actually listened in. Again, National Women in Agriculture have brought you tangible new opportunities through a wonderful partnership that's been around for over 30 years. You heard through the Rockefeller Foundation, if you will. Rockefeller is one of their main funders or developers.
Right. They kind of got us started, kind of thing. They're our base. They're our foundation.
And National Women in Agriculture, as a result of our history, if I'm not correct, Darla will tell you, she will confirm, we've been working as a partnership or communicate, she and I, having collaboration for many years. I know over 10, or right at 10. We've been collaborating. Now here we are both leadership positions, but willing to help others to get involved overseas in those opportunities to go overseas free through your expertise through agriculture.
That's right.
Again, you all, it's always a pleasure, and I thank you for tuning in to Women in Ag Wednesday, the first Women in Ag talk show ever in America. That another innovative way to outreach, especially during this actual pandemic that we're still in somewhat.
That's right.
People think we're not, but we are. Literally, I was over in Michigan a couple weeks ago, and the USDA called me and said, Taylor, we can't come. The numbers are too high. So we have to do this by, Zoom. I said, no problem. I appreciate it because I don't want to bring anything back, to Oklahoma by being exposed. So
that's right.
I thank you, Darla, again. You all, every Wednesday at 12 noon Central, we are here. If you want to go overseas and get involved in this partnership program, please contact myself or Ms. Darla directly. We will screen if you came through NWIAA. We want to make sure that we receive those credits as well and do some screening because we got to make sure people are safe and we do this thing decent and in order. So again, Ms. Darla, thank you. You have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you as well. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.
All right, it's a great day in ag, you guys, to make that
absolutely.
Thank you.